Yes. So welcome everyone. Thanks for turning up for this session. And I have got different levels of experience candidates, right from fresher to well-experienced RPA candidates as well in this meeting. So the main aim is to teach you if you are not certified in RPA Associate. So I'll be helping you through this journey. For the next 6 weeks, I will be teaching everything in UiPath right from scratch for clearing this RPA Associate. Sorry, did anyone ask any questions? So I kindly request you to go on mute if you are not asking any questions. Right. Okay. I'll be giving some time for you to ask questions between this session. So yeah. So little bit more about me. So I am a BTech in IT graduate in 2006. Got 15 years of IT experience, out of which 7 years in Australia. I have more than 10 years of automation experience, different levels of test automation tools and various RPA technologies as well. I've been leading many digital transformation projects, mainly in Australia. And I am certified developer in many technologies and RPA tools, such as Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, and UiPath. And I'm one of the UiPath MVP from Australia last year, only an MVP from Australia last year, and one of the 2 MEPs in 2021. I am the founder and RPA lead for To Automate Anything. So you can see these icons, which I have worked for the past several years into different automation technologies. So that's a very high level snapshot about myself. And as you can see here, this I consider as the highest achievement next to the MVP. So I have certified as a RPA Associate as well as the RPA Developer. If you see the date on the RPA Associate, so it's just 9th November 2021. So even though I'm certified in advanced, I just want to clear this. So because before I teaching you something on RPA Associate, I really thought it really makes sense for me to clear this RPA foundation as well in order to teach you in a better way. So that you get a confidence that you are in right hands, so I can teach you better. Right. So these are the technologies that I know. Yeah, excuse me. Can you please? Okay, I'll put you on mute. Okay, so technologies work. You can see several technologies here. So of which you can see few RPA technologies as well, such as Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, Cofax, and UiPath. And UiPath, I consider it as the most achieved learning for me, because that has given me a lot of things in my life. So before we dive more into this process or teaching you something new, so I have some very important chief guests here. So first of all, I welcome Andrea to introduce for around 5 minutes and give some confidence to our candidates. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Raj. Thank you so much. I'm sorry it's noisy where I am, but I'm so pleased that you're running this course, and it's fantastic to see that you've got all these participants on. You know, you've done an amazing job, I guess, with your study of RPA and getting across all the different technology vendors. But obviously, as an MVP for UiPath, we're really proud to be able to support you, and thank you for hosting this.
Thank you, Andrea. So do you want to share any tips to the candidates in this journey?
Oh, gosh. Tips. Now you're really putting me on the spot. Look, I think that obviously you're going to cover off a lot of information, but there's a huge pool of information out there with our community. So I would encourage everyone to get on and look at the forum. And also just when you look at the forum, you can also see that there's a lot of there's a lot of virtual sessions that we're also hosting, which will complement what Raj is doing as well. So I think there's no shortage of information available to you, and I wish you well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Andrea. So that really gives us a lot of confidence. So our candidates also will be really happy hearing from you. So more about Andrea. Andrea is in Melbourne, I believe, Australia. And she's one of my inspiration as well here in Australia. So I thank you very much for joining this session. And
thank you.
The next person is our beloved Vibhor Srivatsava. So most of the people in the UiPath community knows about him. So there is no special introduction required to tell about Vibhor. Vibhor, can you please talk something that community can be benefited from you today?
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you for inviting me, everyone. And before I start, maybe if some of you can switch on your camera, so we know that whom we are talking to, because these days we really can't meet anyone in person, but it will be good to see all of you. As you will be here for, I think, few weeks learning, and learning this. So it's okay to switch on camera. And this is one of the advantages for the community, that and leverage this opportunity to connect with each other. Yeah. Thanks, Veena. Thanks, Madhur, Janvi, Balakrishna, hi, Satish. Hi.
Hello, Vibhor.
Hi. So I think we are good now. At least some of the people are there. We're okay to put on camera.
This really looks good, actually. A lot of smiling faces.
Yes. So first of all, thank you, Rajnish, for inviting me. And it's great to see so many people spending their time to learn RPA. So I'm not know at what level you are, in what whether you have just started or you are already learning RPA. But some of the first of all, I will thank Rajnish for this initiative, because there are many people who are looking for a right mentor, right guidance for Rajnish, who has been our MVP from last 2 years. It's a great initiative where he can share everything from his journey, from his experience, which is going to help you in your RPA journey. So some things I would say that I believe there are 6 sessions, Rajnish, if I'm sure.
Yes,
right?
That's right. Yes.
So, yes. So I will suggest that please join all the session, because sometimes what happens, we attend just 2 sessions and then we miss the rest of the session. It's like, you are doing your graduation, you just attend the first year, second year, then you miss some of the year. So which will not be really helpful on this. And also, whatever is being taught, at least practice it, right? Because this is the one area where sometimes we learn something even on the academy, then we do not practice. If you do not practice, you will not be able to ask the right question, and asking right question is very important, right? That is one area. Most of the time I feel that sometimes people think, hey, what will happen if I ask the question, what others will think, whether because everyone is not at the same stage, right? Somebody is just starting, somebody might be already at the advanced level. So ask the question, whatever question you have, don't worry, ask that question. No question is a silly question, right? And also another way you can do, whatever you are learning, you might want to try to explain it to someone else who is not as skilled as you, because that way when you are explaining to someone, you will ensure that it will ensure that when they will ask question, that whether you are able to answer it or not. And also we talk about automation first mindset. So when you are learning, you can start thinking about what are the things you can automate. If you are just a fresher, you can try automating maybe Excel, something on Excel, PowerPoint, on the daily application that you are using. And that is one area what I feel when you are going for probably interviews or maybe something, people always ask, okay, what are the real use case scenarios you have practiced, right? So what I will share that, I will share some of the UiPath ecosystem. What are the key pillars, how we are helping community members. So if I can share quick, yes. Can you allow me to share my screen, Rajnish?
Yeah, sure. Just a moment. Yeah, you can share it now.
Yeah. What I wanted to share, just a kind of a UiPath community ecosystem that we have for different committee members. You may see that there's a lot of things, and actually there is a lot of things, but you can leverage this based on your experience, based on your expertise, based on your automation journey. So here are the 3 key pillars, and I will cover other points as well. Key pillar is education. Education is basically, if you see.
Vibhor, are you sharing your screen? Because I don't see if, I don't know if it is just me.
Can you see my screen, Rajnish?
Yeah, now I can, yeah.
Oh, okay, so probably there was some delays. Okay, so one of the pillars is education. So if you see on education, these are the tools or programs or platforms which you have where one can go and learn. For example, we have, everyone knows that you have a free UiPath community software. Then we have Academy, and I will show you that later, right? Academy. So if you are starting your anything, whether you are a RPA developer or you have an infrastructure engineer, you have a citizen developer, at whatever level you have, we have some course for you, right? Or even RPA starter course is also there, which is not a technical, but it will just simply guide you what is RPA, what is the RPA ecosystem, or what are the things available in the UiPath. Then you have a certification. So Rajnish will be sharing more details on this certification, and in fact, this session is helping you prepare for associate exam as well. Then academic alliance. Of course, academic alliance is for academic teams where we are. This is for the colleges or university which become parts of academic alliance, and as a part of academic alliance, our academic team train the faculties, and RPA course is included into their curriculum. I will not get much into academic alliance. Then we have a network, second pillar. This pillar or this network, these programs are a way for opportunity for you to meet your peers or get connected to other like-minded people. So we do regular meetups. Then once in a year, we do developer conference, which is our largest RPA gathering for developers. Then we have a mentorship program. Mentorship is again a program where you can register yourself as a mentor, or in case you are experienced and you want to contribute or give back to this society or this community, you can also register as a mentee. Then we keep on doing hackathons. Again, hackathon is another way to showcase your skill, where you can build your team. You can build your team with another community members or with your colleagues, right? Then we have some program for which is MVP program. MVP program is called Most Valuable Professional. And this is just a way of UiPath thanking its most engaged community members who are sharing their knowledge in different ways, right? Of course, they do not get paid for doing any activity. For example, Rajnish, right? Rajnish keep on sharing his knowledge via blog, via videos, or taking session. He doesn't get paid for it, but it's his passion which allows him, and he keeps on sharing this. Then we have an automation champion program, which is specific to our customer. Then we have a student developer champion, because we really want, if students can start learning RPA from their college, it's going to really help them, right? Then third pillar is support where you have a forum, right? I highly recommend everyone to be part of the forum if you are not, because what will happen once you start learning, you will have a lot of questions. And then it may not be possible for you to ask every question, go back to the Rajnish or maybe some of your colleagues, right? So I always discourage kind of spoon feeding, same thing for you and same for others also, right? So forum is, let me show you in case I can show you. So forum is whether you are a fresher or you are advanced level, you may have some question. And believe me, whatever question you may have, somebody has already faced this, right? So what you will see, if you come to forum, login, you will see you have a different categories almost for all our products, right? And you may have a question to related to Studio X or Studio or Orchestrator, whatever product you have. If you just need to search your question, in case you are not able to find a right answer, you can post it. And believe me, 95% answers are given by the committee members. And this will also help you to prepare for your exams. Because when you are helping others, right, and most of the 90% or probably I will say 70% questions are related to Studio or basic, what will be covered into your Studio, into your exams. So it will help you practice more. Then documentation. Of course, documentation, whatever product you are learning, If you really want to get more details, you can visit documentation. Then community blogs. I will share this deck with you so that Rajnish can share with all of you. Community blogs. So what we do, we keep on doing a lot of hackathons, and a lot of our MVPs and community members, they love to share their knowledge. And these are the technical blogs created by community members, where they explain how they achieved something, right? How they solved some problem. So you will, again, you will learn from that. And then there is another UiPath UI use case repository. So what was happening, if you come to forum, here is the UiPath use case repository. A lot of people who were learning from the academy, or sometimes people who want to switch their career, they sometimes struggle to find right use cases, how they can practice, right? That is why we created this use case repository. So if you see, you will find many community members sharing their knowledge, what kind of things they have automated, what are the processes they have automated. And here you can find use cases based on the industry, based on the product, based on the skill level as well. So if you just select advanced, probably you will just get a use case related to advanced. And then if you, for example, if you come here, click on any of the person will explain use case description, what he's trying to solve. He's also sharing a workflow which will help you, right? Kind of skills required, products which were used, and some other useful resources. So you can leverage this also, and it will help you at practice. And then last is job board. So again, this is where we allow our UiPath community, whether it's a partners or customers or maybe freelancer, if they have any opportunity, they keep on sharing it over here. So if you come to job board, you can find some of the opportunities added by our committee members, right? And you just can go there, apply. Either person has given their email IDs, or they might have given their website where you can go and apply. It's just another way to help you and support you. So another slide is that, if you want to start, of course, I will say go start with committee edition, right? Because it's very important unless until you start hands-on session or hands-on practice, right? So it's a free download, and of course, again, Rajnish will cover. And then you have academy, then you have a forum, and insider preview. So especially for those who are already have some experience, be part of insider preview. You will be able to join this program using your business email ID, but these programs will keep you ahead of many people. So what happens, anything before comes to the community edition, you will get to know what UiPath is working on, what are the latest features, what are the new updates you can expect. And here you will have a chance to work on those newly features, give feedback. So which means next time, if you're talking to someone, you can say, okay, UiPath is going to come with these features, right? So you will always stay ahead, because that is one thing which I feel will help you if you are early adopters of the products, right? I will not say that you can be expert on everything, but just think, because now we have a 20+ products, you can just decide, okay, I want AI Center, or you want test automation or a studio, whatever you decide, you should be part of this, and then contribute back, right? So whatever you are learning, be visible on the social media, especially on the LinkedIn, because I believe that whatever you are learning, or because you are going to spend a lot of time, it will be great to share your expertise, or whatever you learn, if you can share with others. Let others, probably your future employers or other people, right, let them know what you know, right? So it's very important, believe me, it will help you a lot, right? Because tomorrow, for example, if somebody reach out to you and say, Vibor, I have seen this opportunity, can you recommend me? Or maybe someone else, how we understand, okay, you have those skills, right? So if you share your expertise with other people, believe me, it will help you a lot. And yes, and also as part of this program, end of this session, one lucky person is going to get a 50% discount voucher for associate, right? And of course, Rajnish will set a criteria or decide, okay, who he wants to give, probably most engaged users or most active person, or probably who completes the exercise and all. And yes, and another last thing, that believe me, whatever you are doing in the committee, you will get recognized for your efforts. So just keep on contributing, and we are there to support you. You will find many people who are just sharing their expertise. They do not get paid, but because they love sharing, and the more you share, the more you learn. So that's all I wanted to cover, Rajnish. And thanks for this initiative, and thanks everyone for being part of this program.
Thank you very much, Igor. That's very good insight. Yeah, so from
can I just ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
go
please.
ahead.
Vibhor, you mentioned like everything in detail, which is very good. Especially it benefits us a lot. I just wanted to ask about the hackathon. I have seen many hackathons being published and many people participate, and I always wanted to participate, but I didn't know how. I just need a partner. How do I go forward with it?
So let me
Because
share my
I might
screen.
not have anyone known in my friend circle who might be interested. So I would like to join somebody who has some ideas and who is ready to join. So how do I connect with them?
Okay, so now here's the first thing I will say. Once you come to community.uipath.com, you will find all the programs here, that whatever we offer. So here, if you come down, right, you will see all the upcoming events which are happening, for example. Then if you come further down, here is a dedicated chapter for hackathons, right? So I will say, come to hackathon, join this chapter because I'm already part of it. Otherwise, if you're not part of it, it will show you here join chapter, right? Once you join, so whatever happens, whenever we announce any hackathon, you will get a notification, right? And here you can also go through the previous hackathons. It will just give you some examples, what kind of challenges we create, because every time you will notice there is something new, because there is no point giving the same challenges again and again. Sometime we keep it category wise, sometimes we say, okay, I create something on this, sometimes we keep it open where you can think of your idea. Then whenever we announce, we also make a post on forum, right? And under that, you can also maybe on the social media, let's say on the LinkedIn, for example, or if you're part of some of the WhatsApp group or even forum, you can say, hey, you want to participate into this hackathon, you are looking for a candidate or maybe a team member. But what kind of team member you are looking for, right? You can say, these are my expertise, right? And you are looking for someone who can join you or have this kind of expertise, but you need to ask it, right? Yeah. So because believe me, there are many people who have same thing. Hey, I'm looking for a team member. How do I find it? So once you post it on the relevant forum post, you will surely find it. Or otherwise, you can reach out to us or maybe to organizers. So what I can do, I can reach out to some of the people. Hey, we have a candidate or a participant who is looking for a team member. Raise your hand, and you will surely get someone.
Okay, that helps. Thank you.
Anyone else who has any question? Otherwise, like what I can do, I can just share my LinkedIn, or in fact, I can share my number also, right? So in case you have any question or any help, I'm always available to the community.
Thank you, Vibhor. So anyone else have any other questions to Vibhor? I take it as a no, and we proceed to the next session. Okay, so before I go to the next slides, so I would like to thank one more person who is the co-director of To Automate Anything. So his name is Manokaran. So he is leading all the product sides from To Automate Anything. So I'd like to introduce him. Manu, you there? Okay, I think he's not there. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, because he's the one who accepted to do all these initiatives, and very good support from him as well in creating the presentations and giving this session. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I believe in UiPath RPA. So the path to success is we need to be RPA certified associate and certified advanced developer and we should have a lot of hands-on experience in implementing the projects, right? But everything everybody will not get based on what they are working. They may not get the hands-on experience or may not get time to do the certification. So if you need to really succeed, so many companies nowadays, they prefer only the certified candidates in their recruitment process. And that is why we suggest to candidates to perform all these certificates. So first of all, the certified RPA Associate, so anybody is eligible to take. So only thing is they need the interest to learn RPA, learn UiPath, and clear this certification. So UiPath has given a clear syllabus and a clear roadmap to success. So I'll just show that. So to apply for the certification, you need to go to this page. So, and just scroll down and find the details about the RPA Associate and the advanced certification. And here you have the exam details for the associate exam. So once you take that, you get the syllabus. So you need to be aware of all these topics, which is the RPA Fundamentals, UiPath Studio Overview, Variables and Arguments, most of the things from selectors and control flow, data manipulation, UiPath automation concepts and techniques, and orchestrator overview. So this chapter defines your success criteria, and you need to really prepare on all these topics. And that is what we are going to discuss in all these 6 weeks. So as the target audience says that it's junior RPA developer, you may need at least 3 months of experience, and solution architects, business analysts, and college university students as well. So no prior experience required for this. 3 to 6 months of RPA hands-on experience, which you will be getting in this training, all this experience. And the products you will be tested is the UiPath Studio, robots, and orchestrator. So we'll be seeing more on this in the upcoming sessions. And I have prepared my syllabus based on this exam only. And I'll be sharing you this syllabus as well after this meeting. So I'll be sending you an email with all the syllabus and the contents for today's class as well. So that is what it is. And finally, as you know, it is 90 minutes of exam, and its exam fees is $150. So the best performer in this course, in this training session, will be getting a 50% off, as told by Weber. So yeah, let's be ready for that. So I wish you all the best. You perform well and get that 50%. Okay, so now let's jump on to this chapter 1, which is robotic process automation fundamentals. And before I go in, so may I know if anybody is already RPA Associate certified? So if you raise your hands, so I can know. Okay, so I think nobody is certified here, right? Right. So let's jump into the topic. So RPA fundamentals. So as usual, I don't want to tell most of the things about RPA because everybody know it is a robotic process automation, and the main thing it does is the digital transformation, right? So digital transformation of processes. So there are a lot of manual and repeated processes. So automating those processes is robotic process automation, right? So as a definition, we can tell is this is automation of work, right? It's automation of any work that using digital robots. That is called robotic process automation. It can be any work that is repeated or manual and quite complex as well. And if a person is doing the same work again and again, so that needs to be automated. So that's where RPA comes into picture. And RPA is non-invasive. So these are the top 5 factors. So RPA is non-invasive, which means the organizations or company that are implementing this RPA, they need not make many changes in their existing infrastructure or the existing software technology that they are working on, right? So they are saving a lot of cost there, because if they are changing one technology, for example, the software that are built in Java that needs to be changed into the latest .NET technology, so it costs a lot of money for them. So what they will do, instead of changing that, instead of doing that kind of migration, so they just use UiPath just to work on the existing application, because UiPath is almost it's compatible with most of the technologies that exist in the world right now. So RPA is non-invasive, and RPA is easy to scale. So for the scaling is mainly it's increasing and decreasing the number of robots. So you all know UiPath works with different robots. So people who really don't know anything about this RPA or the robot, so don't think that this robot is something real robots that you see in the sci-fi movies, that robots come and they break the car and they fight with each other. So it's not that kind of robot. So it's a software robot. It just silently it just reside on your computer, and it accepts instructions from the human or another controlling software, which is called orchestrator, that you'll be seeing in the upcoming classes. So it accepts that instructions mainly from the human instructions, and it just do the work what it is instructed to do. It doesn't do anything additional or anything less. It exactly does what it's supposed to do. That is what its main use. So thank you, Andrea. Right, so it is easy to scale, means it is easy to scale up or scale down. So if a work needs to be completed in one day, so 2 robots can join together and complete that work in half a day. So same applies for 10 robots or 20 robots. So you can save a lot of time. So that is how it works. So it is easy to scale up or scale down. And RPA is future-proof. Future-proof in the sense the technology, every day the technology grows like anything. A lot of new technologies replaces the old technology. So during these kind of digital advancements, still the RPA work fine. So even though any new technology comes and replaces the existing technology, RPA still able to adapt to that new technology and able to automate those processes. So it works right from the mainframe kind of technology and the latest cutting edge technology as well. So any new technology is also can be handled easily via UiPath because they just release the packages or release an update of the version, so that the new technology can be easily handled. So that is the main success of UiPath. And customer expectations. So customer expectations always it is of the very high quality level, right? They always need the satisfaction and the handling time in a software should be reduced, and it should basically fit the purpose, the software. So for that, the accuracy is important, and also the volume also important, and the time to handle is also significantly less. So that is kind of the customer expectations, and these kind of customer expectations can be easily satisfied using the UiPath or RPA in the digital transformation. One more thing is the compliance and regulations, and there are compliances in every industry, and there are regulatory boards in every industry, right from banking sector or health sector, anywhere there are regulators. So a company or organization need to follow all these regulations. Otherwise, they would end up paying a huge amount of fine or some penalty if they are not following the correct processes. So using UiPath, we can define those processes and adhere to those processes so that they can satisfy the regulatory requirements. And also they can prove that the company is delivering the value to the customers. So those are all the major benefits of RPA in digital transformations. So implementing RPA in a business. So you take any business today, RPA can be implemented there because every industry or every domain or every business has its own problem or its own challenges, which means they are doing repeated processes. So still many companies, even in Australia or worldwide, they haven't really applied the RPA into the entire industry. In some companies, there are almost 5 to 10% of the processes has been automated, and still many companies are still trying out RPA, and not much implementation is done so far. So that is why we expect a significant growth, almost 400 to 500% of growth in next 3 to 4 years, and the job market is also going to be significantly larger when compared to now. Even now, there are many RPA opportunities that could not be filled. So in next 3-4 years, even there will be more jobs coming up, and in this will be applied in any specific industry. So these are only the examples, but you name one industry, definitely there will be some automation there, and UiPath can handle those kind of repeated processes. So customer services is one area, so where the customer expectation is really high. So you can apply all these factors in all these businesses. So the customer expectation is exponentially high here. So because when we purchase something, so we expect a high quality there. If something is not working, we call the customer service and we expect some quick actions to be taken. So in the back end, what happens when we call a customer care, so they raise those ticket in some ticketing systems such as the ServiceNow or Jira or whatever it is. So they raise it there, and from there it will be going to an email box, or someone will be actioning on it. So there will be a lot of manual works around it. So if those processes can be automated and that handling time is able to reduce, so those companies are going to win the market. So it's the competition between those industries. So within the customer service, there will be a lot of competition. So those who are implementing using UiPath, so they are going to win the race in the customer service or any specific industry. So even in financial or healthcare. So in healthcare specifically during this COVID time, so a lot of businesses has been affected during the initial stages of the COVID, and later with UiPath or any other RPA, they are able to overcome those challenges in any specific businesses. So we all work from home, and we are able to overcome it. And in the back end, a lot of RPA technologies were implemented. For example, the COVID contact tracing in many of the healthcare sector as well as in many retail sector. So it was really quick in tracing the contact person and the contact tracing, and they were able to send messages to those customers or send messages to the team members who are working in those stores, and also they are able to generate the the posters. They are able to paste it outside the retail industry or healthcare industry, and the thing you are scanning from your mobile, so that is connected to a backend, and everything was tracked. And using RPA, we are able to overcome this significant challenge. And in fact, we would say we have won that challenge, and that is how it works using RPA in education domain as well. And in the government sector, I would say all the legal or regulatory agencies are using this in creating the documents, or in storing the in checking the documents as well, in government industries. I mean, in many government practices, they are using this also in manufacturing as well. So yeah, it's actually quite significant. I could not bring everything into this slide, but this is the high level. So you can think of any other industries. You can still implement RPA wherever you go, even though you are not working in RPA domain. You need to think about something which is called the automation mindset. So that is what Vibhor was also highlighting. So somebody asked me do you need a programming language experience to do this RPA Associate training, or how it works? So do I really need to know programming to master this RPA? So what I told was, so between this, I used to tell some story to keep you engaged. So I was kind of a guy who ignores the programming during my college days, or not much interested. But all I had is one thing, that is the automation mindset. So wherever I go, I think from the automation mindset perspective. I used to work in manual testing initially. So using the automation mindset, I was able to advance into the automation testing arena. And from there, I always used to look for the best tool that is available for automation. So I have used almost most of the tools that are available in the market. Used to explore all the time, keep on moving to the best and the best tool available in the market. That is how I ended up finding UiPath very early I'm one of the early adopter. So the reason I'm telling is you need that automation mindset. Don't worry about any programming language, that will automatically come to you. Think about how to automate, whether you can read emails or do some regular task that you do. Even reading a newspaper is a regular task that you do. Even you can automate that. So you can employ one robot, so that you can align with the UiPath vision. So UiPath vision is like a robot for every person, right? So when you are able to align with the automation mindset, then you will be able to think about this creating repeat, like automating those processes, and you can employ the robots. You can assign in that task for doing it every day, the task which you do manually and you struggle it, so you can assign it to robots. Give me just a moment. So I think there is some messages in the group, or what is that? Chat. Okay. All right. So coming back to what RPA can automate. So as you can see in the screen, anything, but I have just mentioned only the key task that it can perform, that is automating reading and sending emails and attachments. So which is almost 50% of most of them doing in a single day, right? So you read an email and you get action on that, and you action and then reply to that email. So similarly, in many industry, email is the main source of their work. So every day they have to action the email and keep on replying to that email. And logging to web enterprise applications, it can be any kind of applications, like web applications or mainframe application or desktop applications, even mobile applications as well. Moving files and folders. So that is one of the major tasks. Wherever we go, we have folders, we have files, and we need to play around with the files and the folders. We delete the folder, we rename the folder, we just copy one folder to another folder. So that is what we do. And copying and pasting data. So this is another thing. We copy data from file and paste it into another file. Filling in forms, web application, desktop applications, and reading and writing data into databases. Databases can be anything. Excel is a database as well. And there are different databases, Oracle, and anything you name. So any databases, we can still communicate with those databases as well. Reporting across multiple systems. So by this, I mean, we can use multiple systems. So you can take reports from one system and we can compare it with other systems, and we can deal with multiple systems and take the usage time and the data of multiple system, and we can work on that. And other main usage is scrapping the data from web. Any website, you can just scrap data from those websites. So this is only few of them. Still, RPA is capable of doing a lot of other things as well. So any new technology that comes in, so there is another API with APA automation. So every application, they provide their API. So UiPath can talk to their API and get the data and communicate using the APIs as well. And any new technology that's are coming, for example, a Google Forms or a Google Sheet, instead of an Excel sheet, there is a Google Sheet and Google Forms and a lot of other things. So still UiPath can communicate with those technology as well. So any new technology, UiPath can automate. So first of all, we need to analyze. So RPA is not about document, like all the time. It is not coding. It's not only coding. There are a lot of work around that. So that is one of the main reason for doing this training. So this RPA Associate is only a basement or only a prerequisite. So with RPA Associate in hand, you can explore a lot of other opportunities as well, right? So there are a lot of things, like from the business analyst, you can become a business analyst if you're good with dealing with stakeholders, business stakeholders. You can become a business analyst or technical business analyst if you have some database experience or you are good at writing technical documentation. So you become that. So with RPA, but RPA Associate is a must, I would say, because you understand the development technology. It will be easy for you to talk to the RPA developers. But if you want to become the RPA developer, it's really well and good. So once you finish this RPA Associate, you have a career path to move to the advanced level and do a lot of projects and then become the expert in the product you choose. Oops, sorry. Sorry, can someone acknowledge me if you are able to hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
can hear you.
Yes,
Oh, thank you. So for any questions till now?
No, Rajneesh, I think you are going well.
Okay.
It's very clear.
Okay, thanks, Veena, for the acknowledgement.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so for any business, right? So when we are going to do, for example, consider you become an RPA developer and you are given a job to automate some business process. So the day one, you are given to assess a business, right? So you want to really see if that process is really worth automating. So because we have UiPath and have the robot, we are not going to automate everything, each and everything in the world, right? So I just remember one more thing, that to automate anything. So there are two guys, right? So they were always interested in automation. So we talk mostly everything about what we can automate, how we can automate everything, every single thing in the world. We think about how to automate, and that is how the name to automate anything. So the two is one of me and another friend. So we became and created that brand. And anything means I did not mention it's everything. I told anything, but anything is not really anything in the world. So only anything that really makes sense we can automate. We are not going to automate anything that is there. It doesn't make sense, because only anything that is manual or really time consuming or it is complex, we are going to automate only those things. So we want to, our intention is to automate anything, because that is the mindset we have. So we want to automate anything that is creating problems in the company, or it is taking a lot of time for giving hard time for an employee, because he is doing a lot of repeated works. He is not able to focus on his family and he's not enjoying his time. So that is not the correct thing. So he has his own personal life, and he had to focus on that. For that, I need to take the robot out of him, and that is what we need to automate. So we need to identify the suitable business process. It's not every business process. So if the business process, someone has to manually something we need to do on that, not everything RPA can do that. For example, verifying a passport, you need to really verify the person with your two eyeballs, then only you can tell it's the correct person. So that the robot cannot efficiently perform that. Humans are very good in performing such operations. We need to leave it to the humans. Not everything we can automate. So we need to do the assessment if the process is really fit for automating, and then we rate them based on the fitness of the process. And also we are going to see the automation complexity. So complexity in the sense how good the application is, and how many screens it does have, and are the fields they are readable. So all this kind of assessment we do, and we put it in a matrix, and then we see which can be automated. So it will be something like this. So the process assessment matrix. So we put the complexity and the benefits, and then we find the low hanging fruits. They are the best candidates for automation, and quick wins are the best candidates, and the long-term improvements, no, they are not a good candidates for automation. Must do improvements is definitely not a good candidate, because they need even more improvements to do the automation. So process fitness, we have a lot of criteria to define this process fitness. So first of all, it should be a rule-based. So it should not be dynamic. So everything should have a rule. So they have, like, for example, what can I tell about your rule is, so it should follow a formula. So A plus B equal to C. It should be always, there should be a and a B, and it gives a result C, so we can verify the result C. For example, it should not change that A plus B plus B plus C. It should not become like that, because there is additional parameters coming in. So every transaction, if there is additional parameters coming there, or some dynamic parameters coming there, or if the business keep on changing the rule. So for example, today they will say username, and tomorrow they sell it is only user, and tomorrow another day they change it is u.n. So it keeps on changing. It's dynamic. So there is no rule there. So we need a rule-based process. You can think about any other business as well that follow a certain practices, certain process, or certain rules. So if a business is following those rules, we call that as rule-based. We can only automate that, and it should have low exception rate. A low exception rate, if you're using a web application for quite a long time, there should not be much exception in a page. For example, in a login page, out of 100 times you are logging in 99 times when you are giving the correct username and password, it should be successful. So one time it can be exception, because the web page is not responsive, or the internet is down, or some other problem. It can be that kind of exception is okay. But every time you click and you get a random error message, it's annoying, right? You cannot automate those kind of applications. So those applications needs improvement. You can report them to improve the quality of this application, and then you can better automate. So we follow the low exception rates and repetitive actions. There must be certainly a repetitive actions. For example, if you go to a bank and you write some form every day, right? So there will be hundreds of customers coming to the bank, and for creating a bank account, they just do the same process again and again. So these kind of things can be automated. For example, they can given a screen to enter all their details and click on the submit button. But still there will be some manual verification of passport and driver license. But that's still okay. But all those repeated actions around the creating the banking account or anything else, any other business, so those are called repetitive actions. Those processes also can be automated. And standard input. So standard input we also call as a structured input. So the structured input is something readable. So it can be from a web page or a Word document or an Excel or a PDF document. It should be a structured. So the robot is able to read those documents. So unstructured document, we can call it as something scribbled. If I write in a paper, so it is called as unstructured, because even I cannot understand that. So similarly, someone has that kind of handwriting, even we cannot read the second time that written by us. So a robot can definitely cannot read that. So those are called the unstructured document or unstructured input. Also a junk input, it can be a gibberish language or some other scripts. So those cannot be understood by the robot. So those are not supported. And finally, it is a stable process. Stable process is it's almost the same as that I told as a low exception rate, but stable process is something beyond that. The process itself is more stable. So they follow a sequential process. It's clearly defined process, that is interactions between multiple systems. Those are well defined, and the architecture is already well known. So it's highly stable process. So those are called process fitness. And automation complexity, we calculate based on the types of application, number of screens, type of input, number of input, and business decisions. So if the business decisions is too much and there are a lot of manual work involved, the complexity is also high. And yeah, so this is how we calculate the complexity. So the older the application, like mainframe, the complexity is quite high, and if the number of screens are even more, then the high, because chances there might be some exceptions between those screens. That is why lesser the number of screens, the more stable the automation is. So finally, with collecting all those information in hand, we create this process assessment matrix, mainly to identify the low-hanging fruits and quick wins for our automation. So can anyone ask any questions so far, if you have anything?
I just have a quick question. So there are many data entry operators who are working on the documents, right?
Yeah.
Can we able to do the automation for that process as well? Hello.
Sorry, I lost your voice. I cannot hear it properly.
Okay, I think maybe because of my internet connection.
Sorry, John, I think I lost you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's saying poor connection. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, that's great. So only Jahnavi I couldn't hear. Jahnavi was asking some questions. Couldn't hear, but yeah, I'll connect with her later. Okay. So far what we have covered is full of RPA. Even though I used UiPath here and there, So it's full of RPA benefits. You can achieve most of them using any tools, but using UiPath, why do we select UiPath when there are other tools in the market? So you can see in the leaderboard UiPath Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, and Microsoft. And we choose UiPath because it's not for only this year. This graph is from the Gartner. So about Gartner, so they do a lot of research, and they rate any kind of technologies with enough data with them. So you can Google about them and the accuracy of that report. So this is not the first time UiPath is in the lead time. So that dedicatedly work for UiPath, and we support only UiPath because we believe if it is RPA, it's UiPath. So that is the kind of trust we have on that, and we suggest to our customers on to implement UiPath, and we provide them like proof of concepts on their technology and implement projects mainly with UiPath. If it is RPA, it's UiPath, and if it is any other technology, like we have our product team to work on that. If it is not process oriented, if it's a process automation, we use UiPath to automate. Anything else will be taken care of the products team. It is highly stable and it is highly matured tool, and the process is really mature when compared to the other tools. And most other significant factor is it supports attended automation. It supports both attended and unattended automation, but attended on automation, this is the best tool because it has a UiPath assistant, and which can using which even entry-level professional can work run a robot using a developed RPA or a published process. Anybody can work on that, and it supports citizen developers. Those who don't know anything about programming or anything about RPA, still they can work on that. So install UiPath Studio X. You can really automate most of the things without even any programming. Just drag and drop, connect the activities with each other, and you can automate stuff. So that is how many companies, they work using their business people. They are able to automate a lot of their business processes without even using the UiPath Studio or anything. Without any use of real programming. So they are able to automate those kind of things. So imagine if you're able to do without those kind of things using UiPath X, you are able to automate. So with Studio and Studio Pro, you will be even much more advantageous than the Studio. So within UiPath itself, you saw how big the community is, and the support you are getting from the community is really amazing. So whatever doubts you have when you are programming, just search it in Google. You get the forum, and all the answers are already discussed there. Somebody will have the answer for that, and the community is really big. Even if you are struggling there, somebody will be always ready to help you in the community. So that is why we were also told about. So you should be active in the the LinkedIn and the social media. So when you are doing such things, you get a lot of connections, and when you are stuck somewhere, somebody will be ready to help you if you ask questions to them, reach to the right person. So why UiPath? So consistently it is providing that it is the best RPA. Even Microsoft into this leaderboard, but not even near to in the RPA arena. It's not even near with the advantages we have. But we are still monitoring the other products as well. So definitely we learn that, and we give the feedback to UiPath. So that is what many of us do in the UiPath community. And this product team is dedicatedly working to give the best experience to the users. So to the RPA developers, they get the best experience, and the customers also give a very high rating. And in Gartner also, they got the best ratings. So that is why they are in the #1. So why not we learn UiPath? What my point here is, it is one of the best tools. There is no wonder about that. But there are many hidden advantages behind this scene. So if you see behind this, the market is really, really good, really stable nowadays. Everybody is implementing RPA. So even though many of the most companies name anything, let it be HP or Google, Amazon, or any companies, they have this UiPath as a tool to implement RPA. And one more thing is, like, there are still many leaders, many leading companies are implementing that. So going forward in 4 or 5 years, as I told, it will be 400 to 500% of growth, and the same in the level of job rate as well. It's significantly going to grow. Personally, I have experienced that we are unable to fill certain positions because we don't have the right skill to fill the position. There are a lot of opportunities even in Australia, and initially I targeted Australia market, even though I am to for free, because I know. So it is very good. The market is really green. So take the action now. So don't think about anything. Keep one goal, because with one goal, right, it's easy to plan for that goal. And if you're having multiple goals, you deviate in what you want, right? Because UiPath and Automation Anywhere, Prism, Microsoft. If you try to learn all this technology, definitely you can. I don't tell that you cannot master all this technology, but having one specific goal is really important. So you choose UiPath as your goal, and that is why you're here, I know. So when you work towards this path, definitely you can achieve that goal. Okay, RPA lifecycle. So everything it's as usual, like a software development lifecycle that we have. There is a discovery phase, there is a build, manage, run, engage, and measure. So in the discovery phase, as I told you, engage with the business, and there are many tools in the discovery phase as well. Engage with the business to understand the business and see what can be automated or what cannot be automated. So if you identify something can be automated, you take it to the build phase. We have a set of tools. For example, we have UiPath Studio. Using that, you can automate that process, and you can manage those process from the orchestrator. So from the orchestrator, there will be many packages or many process will be there. So you can manage which process to run first, or which robot can be assigned to run which processes. So everything can be planned and implemented in orchestrator. And run, so which can be done by the robot. So the robot will run the program. And for engage is the attended automation. So using the robot or the UiPath assistant, we can engage. And for measuring, we have dashboard in the orchestrator to measure our automation outcome. So these are the what is RPA lifecycle. So this is what we tell: discovery, build, manage, run, engage, and measure. So that's the high level, but there are several tools which we will be seeing in the upcoming classes. Okay, so RPA roles and responsibilities. So when you think about RPA or UiPath, don't think that we are only creating robots. It is not the real robot. And RPA developer is not the only job in RPA. There are many roles and responsibilities surrounding that. So business analyst, solution architect, UiPath developer, UiPath tester, implementation manager, infrastructure engineer, RPA support are only a few of the roles that we have in UiPath or RPA. There are many other roles which can be named as per their standards, the company standards and industry standards. There are many more roles as well there. So don't lose your hope. So once you are RPA associate, based on your interest and your skill, you can enhance yourself into one of these roles and responsibilities, and you can get a job there. So if you're good at testing now, if you're a tester now, initially you can become an RPA tester by knowing little bit of UiPath. So you can tell you are a RPA developer, you have done UiPath testing. Essentially you can work here. So you can create your own robot and test a lot of things and say you are a UiPath tester. And similarly, if you are good at managing stuff, you are a manager now and want to become RPA manager, definitely you can become with some implementation experiences, and you can plan accordingly to become an implementation manager. And there are many more roles and responsibilities. Yeah, reach out to me if you're interested in any specific thing, and there is a separate career path for each of them. And for every roles I have is like a successful career path towards each career. I can like route you through that path if you are interested. But this session mainly it's RPA Associate. That is what our target. We are not deviating from there, just to give you some glimpse of what are all the roles available. Right. So we have come to an end of the first session. So far, anybody have any questions? It's time. It's your time to ask your questions.
I don't have any questions,
Okay.
Raj.
Thank you, Meena. Anyone else? You can raise any questions. It can be a silly question. Don't worry about anything. So this class will be a little bit slow, I know, because it's an introduction session. I try to make it as interactive as possible. But going forward, the next classes will be more you will get hands-on. But today it's a bit theoretical. I understand that, so kindly bear with me. But you need to know at least the this foundation to do the next level, right? So feel free to ask anything. Let's be more interactive because
Thanks, Rajnish. It was a great session for a theoretical part. Also, we got to know what RPA is and what challenges and what opportunities we have in the RPA. So, just wanted to confirm. So, from the next session, are we going to do any kind of a practical session, or it will be like basis on the on all about the theoretical session?
Okay. Thanks, Mridul. So you see, my sessions usually will be more practical than theoretical. So only this first session is a little bit theoretical. And going forward, what I will be doing is first half of the session, I'll be explaining a concept, and the second of so I'll be explaining a concept and implementing that, explaining a concept, implementing that. We go in that way. So at the end of every class, what happens, I give some assignment to you. So every week you will be regularly doing some assignment with me. So I take you to through a concept and implement. Similarly, you will be also implementing 1 or 2 examples. The more you do is better, but by minimum you need to do at least 1 assignment. I will be giving you assignment. You will be finishing that, and you have 1 week of time to complete that assignment. So before that, you will be emailing me the work you have done, because it's all learning by implementing, right? So the more you implement, the more you learn, and you will get a lot of doubts, and we can have a catch-up session to clear all your doubts. So it's going to be highly practical. So don't worry, only this session will be slightly low and compared to the other classes. Yeah, so that's it.
And we will have only 1 session in a week, right? On every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sydney time.
On the same time.
Yeah, same time you have this session.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Mridul. Anybody else have anything to share or ask?
Okay. Hello, Rajnish.
Hi.
Swapnil here. Okay.
Swapnil, hi.
Yes. Can you please share the PPT which you have showed us now, means of today's session?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be sharing this content by the end of the session.
Okay. Thank you. That was only my question.
Thank you.
Hi, Rajnish. This is Hari Kumar.
Yeah. Hi, Hari.
Yeah, I have a doubt. In the syllabus, it has been mentioned that we'll be having some live projects.
In the syllabus?
Yeah, in the mail, I saw that there will be some live projects.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there will be some live projects we can do at the last session.
Okay, that's what I need to know, whether we will be having some live projects, or we'll be doing that or not.
Yeah, so every week we will be having live session projects. So every class we implement here, let it be a small project or a big project. We are doing a small piece of project every class, every session, and you will be also implementing that in your project. So it all project based, experience based and practical based training.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Kari. Anybody else? Don't be shy. Okay.
Rajneesh, this is Janvi here.
Yeah, Jami.
So what is the practical time, like, how much time it will take to prepare for this RPA Associate exam?
Okay. So that's a very good question. So I thought of sharing some point here. So see, if you want to become something, you want to set a goal, right? So we set a goal as RPA Associate. So I want you all to become RPA Associate. So if that is the case, that is my achievement. So all I ask is you can book this one. So I'm finishing by by mid of December. We'll be finishing, right? So you can either book in the last week of December, or you can book in the first week of January. So you can certainly book for that exam right away, so that you know what is your goal, right? So then only you will prepare accordingly. But if you are not booking the exam, you are not going to clear it anytime. You'll be keeping on pushing it. So as a New Year resolution, so start your New Year with the RPA Associate certificate, or at least that experience. So
Yeah.
I request you to book by end of last week of December or first week of Jan, whatever is suitable for you. I'm confident that you will be gaining a lot of value here. The experience here, that will be more than sufficient to clear the associate exam.
Sure. And Rajneesh, is that going to be an online test, or do I need to be physically there to?
No, it is going to be an online test. It is going to be a proctored exam, which means that someone will be monitoring you through your webcam.
Okay.
And yeah, you cannot perform any kind of cheating any time. So that will become like they will stop you from taking the exam. So it's a clearly monitored exam. So no, like any form of cheating is not at all allowed. So you need to be 100% prepared to take the exam. So that is why we take this course. When you go through this course, you understand everything, and you will be in a position to clear that exam, is what I can say.
Yep, Rajneesh, last question to you, sorry.
No.
Yep. So will you able to send us any, practice papers to do after the session or after finishing the 6 weeks program?
Yeah. So throughout this program, we have 6 weeks, right? So every week we will be coming across certain sections, right? Mainly the syllabus. So whenever we are going through a syllabus, so there is an assignment for you to create some multiple questions as part of this training. So you create your own questions on this training, and everybody will be creating the questions and we'll be sharing it across. So end of the session, we get a lot of questions. So I can see 16 parties, so 15 participants. So I'll say at least 10 active participants. You get more than 1,000 questions to answer, to deal with, right? So you get the significant amount of experience. Moreover, I will be also testing your knowledge then and there, using some interactive quizzes, asking questions. So you will be coming across those kind of practice every week. And you get that feel of the exam before even you take the exam. Does that answer your question? Yes, I believe.
Hi, Rajneesh. Is booking allowed without any prepayment? Whether we need to pay before, or can we book with?
You need to pay everything in advance. So you need to pay, like, if it is, for example, it is $150, you need to pay the $150 and book the exam. But you can book well in advance, 3 or 4 weeks in advance also you can book.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can do that actually. Good, you're coming up with a lot of questions. So anything from what I talked so far on the RPA fundamentals?
Will you be covering RE framework also?
No, RE framework is not part of the syllabus, so it's quite advanced. So yeah, it advanced certification syllabus. So RE framework is not part of this.
Okay.
Thanks. So I saw someone asking some questions. If fresher, how we can join for RPA tester? So as a fresher, you can join either RPA tester or RPA developer if there are opportunities available, but most of the companies expect some experience. So as a fresher, you need to really try your luck. So I don't find a lot of opportunities available for fresher, especially in RPA. Some companies give training and take you as a RPA tester. So you need to really try. But when you are interested to join as a tester, so definitely you can mention in your resume showing your passion and interest that you want to join RPA. If that matches align with their requirement, certainly you get a call for that company. So keep trying, Tejaswini. All the best for you.
Hello, Rajnish.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. I'm myself Shailaja.
Hi, Shailaja.
Thanks for the introduction, and it was really great.
Thank you.
So my question here is like, although we have some other working experience, like here in the RPA, we are like treated as a fresher, right?
Yeah.
So fresher with the other working experience. So will it be helpful?
Sorry, I did not get the second part.
My question here is like, you are saying right now that for fresher, I don't see much of the market.
Yeah.
But any which ways talking about the other people who has the work experience, it could be 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
So that 8 years will be unrelated experience, right? It won't be RPA experience. Will it be effective?
Yeah, definitely. Even though you have the other experience, even that is good, because when you are knowledgeable in RPA, right, in UiPath, you can certainly tell about your experience that you have done so far. So even though you are in some other background, so you have given your best to learn UiPath, right? So definitely that adds value to clear your interview.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any other questions?
Rajnish, I can only see most of the positions are as RPA developers, but not as RPA consultant or any other positions, because most of the people or the companies are asking for the developer positions which are having the experience. But this RPA Associate certification, how can that help?
Yeah, so the thing is, like, what happens in the RPA market is, so when they want to introduce RPA to their company, so most people who are interested within the company, they will be given chance initially, but the most difficult is to get a RPA developer who has skill within that company, because they don't have experience. So that is the reason you are seeing the RPA developer opportunity. So even though you choose any company, and if they are implementing RPA, you can tell your interest and move to RPA business analyst or RPA project manager, whatever you may be interested. So it depends on the company, but yeah, not many opportunities available outside. That is true. But still, someone will be contacting you directly, even if your resume, nobody will announce that we need someone, but if they will be searching for someone who have that criteria. So you have your resume updated. That is the first thing in getting the job. So your resume should talk who you are and what you do and what is your responsibilities are. So if you are interested in something, just put everything in your resume and keep updating that, and company will search for the candidate and they will find you. So not every job comes to the job market directly. So many, they call you directly based on your experience. You understand, right?
Got it. Yep.
Okay, so usually how do I run the session is today since we had some introduction, there has been some timing overlap. So every week, so first 1 hour I'll be doing a session and we'll be taking a 5 to 10 minutes break and next remaining 15 minutes session. So I'll split accordingly from next week. So I just want to ask one question. So I shared you a document to install UiPath. So is any one of you are successful in installing UiPath, or if you have already installed, that is not a problem. So just give me the feedback if you're able to do that. So Jana, you want to share something? Yeah.
Yep, I have installed that UiPath according to the instructions which you have provided to the PDF version. It was really helpful.
Excellent. So what I can take is if one person can install that, everybody can work on that. It will still work for everyone. So I hope the document is fine. But even without the document also, you have experience installing any other tool. UiPath is such an easy tool to install. Just download and double click it, just install. Same as all the other tools. So I don't find any much difficulty that you will face, but if you face difficulty, let us overcome. Let me know if anybody had any issues. Okay, I take it as a no, nobody had issues. That is really great. Okay, so now we will go to the first chapter. So we had already discussed the RPA fundamentals. So see, mainly the question will be asked around this session is like, I can remember a few questions in the first session. So from whatever I thought in the first session, right? So what is robotic process or RPA? So the options are robotic process automation, robotics process automation, and robotic processes automation, and something else, right? So there is only one answer for this, which is, right? So the first one, the robotic process automation. It's not there is no yes. So all the questions, it will be multiple, but there is only one answer. So thing is like you can ignore all the bad answers. I can hear some.
Raj, are you presenting your screen?
Oh, sorry.
Are you presenting your
Oh,
screen?
no, I'm not at
Are you
present.
sharing your screen? Okay.
All right. Are you able to see my screen, right? So you're able to see. Robotic process. Okay. So I type that answer here. Right. People will be somebody will be easily confused with this statement. So if you really don't know about this, so that is why it's quite tricky, because there is only one answer, which is robotic process automation. There is no yes, this is wrong. So you just ignore this answer. There is no robot, it's robotic. It's not robot processing automation, which may be correct, but that's not the right answer. Robots processing automation, that is also not correct. So the only answer is robotic process automation, right? So this is one of the fundamental questions. Maybe you get the same question, or you are not at all getting this one, right? And the next question maybe they asked something like what's the main benefit? So main benefits of RPA, right? So first one, repeatable. So it can be repeated, some complex, something like this. So although all the answers are correct, so what you will choose as the answer? So there is given you need to choose only one. So in this case, complex, Janavi told complex, which is it's not the correct answer. Sorry about that. Maybe correct. Yeah, so Reshma told 1, so 1 is correct, which is repeatable, because not all complex process can be automated. Some can be business critical, and that cannot be automated, not a good automation candidate, so we cannot automate that. So all the manual work also cannot be automated, because as I told, there will be some eyeball verification, which humans are better in doing that. So even though it is manual, we leave it to the manual. But repeatable, yes, that is the candidate, right? Because they are again and again doing the same work. So those are the robotic kind of work. So that is the repeatable is the answer. So this is only a glimpse of what you can expect in the exam. So they can easily confuse you. You need to be really strong in the concept, and that is why I took some more time to explain all these concepts. You will be getting something similar around what I was talking, even about the process complexity or automation complexity. You found some I listed something, so you'll be finding something around that. So that's it about the fundamentals. So you'll be getting 2 or 3 questions from so far whatever we learned. RPA life cycle can be one, and some like where it can be implemented, like in a business area. So that can be some questions. So you can think about different questions. What you do this, take this as one of the assignment, like come with this kind of basic questions. Everybody come with at least one question and a few answers. Minimum is 1, the maximum there is no limit. You can come in any number of questions. So this is your first assignment, right? So first assignment is prepare list of RPA fundamental questions and answers. I'll be also having that, but I want you to prepare, because you will be learning the fundamentals and you will get more experience answering this question. So that is your first task so far. Prepare list of RPA fundamental questions and answers. Minimum is 1, but don't come with only 1. So come with 2, that would be fine. Right. So since you have all successfully installed UiPath, I'm not going to waste much time installing UiPath, right? So I'll open my UiPath Studio and start programming something there. So which is what? Variables and arguments. So that is our topic today, variables and arguments. So this is one of the most important topic in the UiPath Studio. Without this, nothing works, right? Whatever advanced topic you go, even RE framework, you need variables and arguments. You need to know how one variable is able to go through other variable. So how you are able to pass one variable to one workflow to other workflow, and create a variable and create different types of variables. So that is what you will be learning about. So let me create a process. So before that, we also see these stages. So initially when I open UiPath, so I get all the recent projects that I have worked, and the recent project I have worked, and there are templates, and you see the new process, library, test automation template. So this may be one of the questions. So what happens when you open UiPath? What you can see? What are the sections you can see? You can see a left-hand side panel, and there is a open section, open recent section, new project, and new from template. So these are the sections you can see. And what you can see in the open stage, so it gives option to open a project. So everything you can consider as a question. And what are the templates? So everything you just now, from now onwards, you can see from the examination perspective. So in the Git, what are the options you have? You have clone, copy to Git. So all these options. The TFS, you have several options, and SV and different options. So not necessarily you memorize this, but at least you need to know there are few options available. So mainly in the Git, I don't recommend TFS and SVN. I don't expect any questions here since many clients use Git. So definitely they will be asking Git. And click on the tools. What you find, UiPath extensions, you find something here. So this you need to know. Even if you did not remember everything, you can remember at least few things. You have Chrome, Edge, Firefox. I clicked on that. I don't want to install. You can remember few things like SAP, Citrix, Java, Firefox, Chrome. You can remember all these things. In the apps, you have UI Explorer, all these things. Go to the settings. Nothing much with the settings. You have some help session as well, where you can go to the academy and product documentation, community forum, tutorial, all these things. So just you need to see what it is. So I'm going to start a process. Just click on the process and choose the folder where you want to use it. Exploring variables and arguments. So while you are creating, you need to see if there is a name, location, and description. There is also a language, either VB or C#. No need to worry about that. Anything is fine. I will go with the default one, which is VB. Okay, now we are going to jump on to next important question. So when you create a project, so what are the default dependencies that are installed, right? So you can see here by the looks of it, it's Excel, mail activities, system activities, UI automation.activities, right? So these are the four, but the options given will be like they install PDF and any other things. So whatever you see anything other than this four, that is the wrong answer. So you need to ignore the wrong answer and confirm on the correct answer. So that is a simple formula. So the first option, ignore the wrong answers. Second option, read the correct answer and find out that is just confirm that is the correct answer. Just do it within 30 seconds or 1 minute. If you are able to do, go it. Otherwise, you will there is a checkbox called review. Just click on that review and keep going. So every 1 minute you keep on doing this so that you get enough time, because time is the biggest challenge here. So yeah, this is one of the question. So we open, so we will just explore this page. So you can see a home page, design. We already saw the home, design page, debug page. In the design, you can see, you can again create new. In the new, you can see sequence, flowchart, state machine, global handler, right? So this is another question, what you can create as a new. So anything other than this is a wrong answer. And export as template, that is not important. And manage packages. So you can click on manage packages. So question will be like, what if you want to do, if you want to install packages for PDF? So option is click on manage packages, search PDF, and select all packages, or select all packages, and this can be two ways it can be done. And click on the UiPath PDF package and click on install and click on save. So this will be the sequence of operations, but they will confuse this step. Step one is manage packages, step two click on install, step three all packages. So they will confuse this the flow, which steps, that is not correct. But you need to be very careful. Click on all packages, search here, select the package and click install and save. So that is the sequence. Just I showed that. And you have recording. In recording, what are the different types of recording? It is basic, desktop, web, image, native Citrix, and computer vision. So anything other than this, it's not a correct answer. So if there are options, it should fall within this category. So there is screen scraping, data scraping, and you will find the difference going forward. User events, UI Explorer will bring you a separate window. No, I think I'm not inside the project. That's why it's not working. So workflows, I'm not sure about this. Test manager, I'm not sure about this. We no need to learn all these things, but few things are very basics we need to understand, like the managed packages I told. And in the debug, you can see there is debug, run file, debug, and run. So these are the options. In the breakpoint, you can have the toggle breakpoint and show breakpoint panel. Slow step is the execution speed, and the execution trail. I haven't tried this execution trail so far. Highlight elements is we can highlight that element during the runtime. Log activities, we can log those activities. Continue on exception. When we click on log activities, what happens? Whatever activities are executed, it will be logged in the logs, so we can see what activity has executed at what time. Continue on exception we can handle within the.
Raj, are logs text files or to the database?
Logs are actually, there are two ways to capture the logs. You can have a text file. When you click on open logs from here, it gives me the folder, and
okay.
It's a text document.
Okay.
And in other ways it will be saved in the orchestrator as well. So in the orchestrator also there is a logs section where you can see all the logs. Both ways it will work.
Okay.
Okay. So
sorry, I'm not sure of what you said about orchestrated, but I hope you are covering orchestrated.
Yeah, don't even worry about that. Yes. So
thank you. Thank you.
Definitely. No worries about that. So okay, so this is a very high level. If you are not even don't know anything about UiPath, so this is what it is. We are trying to create a project. Before creating, we have these components. I have touched upon the important components. So you created a project, and now you want to rename that project, right? So what you do, right click on this project and go to the project settings. And now exploring variables and arguments. Now I want to give an underscore in the after the exploring variables and arguments. So just an underscore, and I just need to update the description as well. So now I have updated and clicked on OK. So which you can see now it has changed the project name, exploring underscore variable and arguments. So this is how it changed, and nothing to worry about this settings. For now, it's quite advanced concept. So nothing to worry about that. Just know there is a settings folder for now. That is more than enough. There is a release folder as well. And this is a config.json is created. That's all you need to know. There is one config file and there is a project.json file. So this is what created by default. Now we haven't even into the programming, but I double click on the main.xaml. Two ways I can open this main.xaml. So questions may be how you can open the main.xaml. Just double click on main.xaml or click on the open main workflow. Just click. There are two ways you can open that. So you get the main panel. This is also called as the design panel. So where you can actually program or create your workflows. I won't use program much. So we are creating workflows. We are doing business process automation. We are not creating programming. Okay. So don't worry about those terms. So we are doing some process out, creating workflows. So to automate here, so we have a couple of options. So go to the activities and you have, how do I tell this? Right. So these are the main two controls. the sequence and flow chart is mainly we use these two items just to create the workflow. So you can drag and drop the sequence and start creating your project. So that is how it works. So once you create a sequence, drag and drop in your sequence, you can create any number of variables here and any number of arguments here. So you can introduce new arguments or new variables, and we will see how to communicate between these two arguments. And when you create multiple workflows, we will also see how do we communicate with the multiple workflows. So that is what we are going to see as part of this project. Okay, so I'm just thinking about a scenario. So I just want to get a username from the user and then want to show him, just manipulate that what we got from him and then show him in a text message. So that is kind of one scenario that we can do. So for that, we create an input dialog. So to get anything from the user, just remember dialog. So dialog is something we get from the user as an input, that is called input dialog, and we store it in some variable. Okay, so enter your name, and input label is username, and it's in a text box, and the value entered must be saved. So to create a variable, you can create in several ways. So to create a variable, you can create it from here, or you can create in the result, or you can create in the variables, or you can create in the arguments. There are several ways you can create. Also, you can create using the keyboard shortcut as well, which is Control K. Using that also you can create. So here I press from here Control K, and it gives option to enter some text, which is I called username. You can either so we call something as best practices in UiPath. Like either you can use camel case like this username, or you can use username. So both is fine. So but if you're following one standard, if you're following camel case in the beginning, follow camel case in the entire project. But if you're using this uppercase name in the first, so just use the same convention in the entire project. So that will make look the project better. Right. So now I have created one variable. So by default, when I create a username, the variable type is string. So what you can see is name, variable type, scope, and default. So these are the 4 options available in any activity or in the variables panel: name, variable type, scope, and default. So the scope will be initially the sequence. So you need to give some proper name for this sequence, which is exploring. So you need to give a meaningful name here, because then only you understand what you are doing. Exploring UiPath, variables and arguments. So now if you see the scope, when I change there, this scope also automatically changes. And the variable type is by default, it is string. Sorry. So this is by default, we got one input dialog, right? So now the username can be stored. Now what I am going to do is I need to write in a write line or a message box. So my name is, so I put it in a message. Your name is So username. So this is a simple program, right? So I'm just getting in an input dialog and writing in a write line, or you can also use a message box to write this. So I just, in the right line, I put checking output. So I know I'm just checking. So here in the input dialog, I write getting input from user. So this is how you do. Actually, you need to name each and everything properly. And even if you are using log, you need to give proper naming convention. So now I am going to run. To run, you click on either F6 or click on this button. So F6 is debug and F5 is control F5 is run. So I press control F5. Something is already open. Okay, it's asking my name. So I say Rajneesh. Right, you can see in the left corner that your name is Rajneesh. So it has been executed successfully. Now I want to write something else. So I just want to get the username and give it to another workflow and get that output, and just want to display it here. So let it be here, but I just want another output, which is, the welcome, or I put modified output. Okay. So I'm setting a variable called modified output. Oh, sorry, I am wrong. So I need to modified output dot toString. Right. So this is what I want to write. I want to modify that string and write that. So for that, I'm going to create a new workflow, right? So for example, I create in the design, I go and create a new sequence and create modify or in a company. Okay, modify data. I just create one called modify data. In that, what I am going to do, just create a assign. Okay, just create a assign. And here I'm going to create a argument. So for creating an argument, you need to press Control M. So it asks me to, okay, now you type and set your argument, or you can go to argument and create that argument, or you can go to the value and create the argument. You're pressing the Control M. So I am giving this as modified. While you are creating argument, so you need to follow the directions. Directions is whether you are giving it as an output or you are expecting some input. So in this case, it is output. So I'm giving out, right? You need to caps the out underscore modified. So I'm creating an out underscore modified, and I'm just creating another variable called in. So in underscore username, I need the username, in underscore username plus welcome to automate. Right, so there is some defect now. So I need to write it properly here. Hi, in control M, in underscore username. Okay. in username plus welcome to automate anything training. So I'm giving this. I want one username to be displayed here, which I am going to get from the output, right? So from the previous workflow. So if you see the arguments, there is one input, which is the username, and one output, which is the out underscore modified. I'm going to get the in underscore username from the other workflow and just going to modify it and then give it to the out modify. And for that, I need to change this direction to out. So I should not forget that. So that is what, as a best practice, UiPath suggests everyone to create this argument as out or in. So in this username, it is in. I give in underscore username is in, out underscore modify is out. So both are argument as string, right? So you need to carefully listen to this one, the argument type, the direction, and name. 99% of the RPA developer makes this mistake. They don't put out underscore modified, or they don't put the direction correctly, and it creates a lot of problems. So you need to clearly specify this. Sorry, I have overtook your time by 10 minutes. Is that okay if you are yeah, okay, Hari has left.
That's okay.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Only today it will be overtime, but from next week I'll look into this timing. Right. So now for the checking the input. So here I need to, before giving this, now I need to call the modified data, right? So when I drag the modified data, it gives me some orange color, which means there is some problem. We need to fix this because this modified data is expecting some arguments. So it needs the in underscore username, which is username, and it needs map the out underscore modified, which is modified output in the main program. So this is what we called as a mapping between the main workflow and the subordinate workflow, which is another workflow, right? So this is how we pass the value. For the input, I'm passing the username, and output, I'm getting the modified output, and click on OK. So now what happens at this stage? So the modified data here, when it comes, this is the normal workflow, and when it comes, it's the modified output. So we get, so I'll just debug this and show you how it works. So I put F11. See, I press F11 just to go step by step. So now when I press F11, it's giving me some the data. So I give a value Vina, which is okay, and now it goes to the next step. In the next step, what happens? In the left, you can see, so the username is already taken as Vina, but modified output is already null, right? So the label result is Vina already. You can see few null values and few values that we have already assigned. So now when I press F11, it is going into that modified data workflow. And here, I'm already modifying it, which is hi username. And now you can see the out underscore modified here, which is already null. So I will just execute this step, which is again null. I'm pressing one more time, and you can see hi Vina, but there is no space. So this is what we improve it later, but now there is no space. Welcome to automate anything training. So now this is executed. Now I press one more time the F11. It comes back to the workflow. So the first right line executes, your name is Veena, and the next thing, hi Veena, welcome to automate anything training. So this is how the passing the arguments work, the variable and arguments. So it took this much time. So this is the essential of all the classes. Basement, if you did not understand passing the variable and getting it from the workflow, please learn, go through any other lessons or any other contents. If you understand, please go through that. You need to understand this thoroughly. Without understanding this, we cannot move to the next stage. So I hope this, so far it is easy. You can also try this. So now comes to the second assignment. So you can create your own example, like create few projects or few workflows, right? Workflows that handles passing arguments and writing and writing a variable. Passing arguments in, consider both in and out directions. Okay, so you need to consider both in and out directions and create few projects. At least one project is fine. If you create two, that is really good. So create your own example. There are many examples available. The logins or naming a devices and voters ID. A lot of things are there. You can think about different scenarios, and this is how we develop a project. So when you bring some idea, we just add to that and develop into a big project. So first of all, you need to create your own project like this, and that is the second assignment. So we got two assignments. First, prepare list of RPA fundamental questions and answers. Second is create few projects on arguments and variables, right? I hope you understand this one. Do you have any questions on this?
Is this assignments just to do by ourselves, or do we need to submit it or anything?
Yeah, so you all know my email ID. So
Yeah.
you need to create this project, and so once you create this project, right, so I'll right click on this and open the project folder. And once I go here, right, so from here you just right click on this folder and send to a compressed or zip folder, or you can use 7-zip to zip that file, whatever you're comfortable. So when I click on this one, it is already zipped. Just copy this and put it in an email and just send it to me. Okay, so later we will create some Git or something later, but until that you can do this practice. Just share this as a zip folder and then share it to my email. I will review and share you the feedback, how you are doing. Yeah, so the more you do, the better you learn. So you need to create a lot of such examples.
Rajneesh, Janvi here.
Yeah, Janvi.
Will you share the recording of today's session?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll download this recording and cut some unwanted part in that and share you, because some way I need to review if I have shared any company related information, told anything that I am not supposed to share. So those things I will remove that and I'll send. So that is the only advantage of you attending this program directly. I may share while talking on the flow. I share a lot of information, so you get a lot of things. But people who are not attending the training, they don't get all these things. Sure. But you get what I have already done here, the projects that you get, also the modified version of the video also you get. I am also planning to upload in YouTube. So I run my own YouTube channel, which is called To Automate Anything. You can search in YouTube and find my channel there. I run one in English and one in Tamil. So there are two channels. In Tamil, it's called UiPath Tamil. If you don't understand, that's not a problem. You have English. So there also I use, most frequently I use put video, but nowadays I'm not posting for past few weeks. I got busy with something else, but I'm going to upload all this video there as well, the modified version.
Okay.
You get this, whatever I do, the class work I get, and also you will be submitting the assignments, and then you can be in regular touch that I'll be sharing your feedbacks. You can contact me if you have issues. So we run a separate session also. If people who don't understand properly are still lagging, so they can catch me up with for a separate session, so I can explain even better. But I believe even this level is more than enough for anyone. When you watch the video once again, you will definitely understand. But people who have some advanced skill, those who have crossed this level, this class will be boring for you. My apologies for that. So you need to contact me for some advanced training if you feel this is boring. But I target this for the people who really don't know anything about RPA. They are my focus. I want them, make them to clear the RPA Associate. That is my main success. So this training will be so basic for them. If they understand, everybody understands. So that is my goal. So, but yeah, don't hesitate to ask any questions. Even any silly questions also matters. Just ask that. Yeah, so that you also grow, and I also learn something from you. I don't know everything, right? So when you ask something, so if I don't know, I'm stuck, then I will also go and learn about that. So it's a mutual learning. Always open to ask, listen from you, if you have something. Otherwise, yeah, as we were told, be active in the social media, share to people that what you have learned, so that even your learning rate will even significantly increase. Yeah, just in mainly in LinkedIn. So I mostly live there. You can contact me anytime there. So just to share your learning. So what benefits you from this session, you can share it to the community, so that somebody else also, it can be useful for them. Help others, and you will be also helped. Right, I think we are pretty much at the end of the session now. It's beyond the time. It's supposed to take till 8, but it's 20 minutes ahead, mainly because of the introductions from Ibar and everyone. So we are supposed to, I don't want to extend one more class for this. So we have 6 weeks, means 6 weeks, everything will be completed. All right, thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it. So yeah.
When will be
Thank
the
you so
next
much for your
session?
time as well.
Sorry, one at a time.
No, thank you so much for your time as well.
Thanks, Rina.
All right. See you.
Bala, when will be the next session?
Yeah, next session, same Wednesday, 6 p.m. 99% there will be a class, but in case if I am, for any reasons, if I am not able to come or something, that's why we have the WhatsApp group. I'll keep you informed and share the alternate plan. But most probably this session will happen for next 6 weeks. Anybody else? Somebody else also asked some question.
Hi, this is Ajita. Is this a weekly session?
Oh, sorry, I lost you.
Is this a weekly session, Rajesh?
Yeah, it's a weekly session. Yeah, I believe your question is weekly. It is weekly. So let me take the printout of the screen. So only you will get this assignment. So people don't attend this, don't get the assignment. Maybe they get the video. So I'll send you personally email to all of you with the assignments and today's class contents as well. I will share with you, and you reply to the same email with your assignment. So first week will be a little bit easy because it's variable and argument. You can do it easily, but going forward, the complexity also slowly increase because your learning curve will be also increasing, right? So you'll be learn a lot of things for clearing that exam. And yeah, keep focus. Yeah, don't lose hope. Don't think about too many things. Yeah, if you're taking this RPA, like take it seriously, we can finish it. It's all about your interest. So it definitely says that, because if you're here, like you have the interest to listen and learn, yeah, you show the same intention for the 6 weeks. Definitely you can clear that. That is all what I say. Okay, thanks. I don't want to keep you hold for many time. I hope this is useful. If it is useful, then share your comments to social media, and yeah, spread the word so that many other people also can join our training and get benefited. In the past, many of them have benefited and got jobs and placed in somewhere. So as a to automate anything, we not only do this training, we also do projects. We do have RPA projects, product works. Also, we train on RPA development and databases and business intelligence as well. There are many other courses also running. There are many other experts in to automate anything. And we train people. We have a skill pool where we train resources and keep it in our pool. Either some company will recruit them or we will make use of them in our project. So we have a lot of things happening to automate anything. So we have placed many candidates in the past. You can look from our website and from LinkedIn as well. Many have placed in several companies and getting that real experience, because the local experience is the biggest problem in Australia. Not sure about other regions, but in Australia they get that experience when they join with us. Initially they join as an internship and get that experience, and they get the first job successfully. And we have changed the fortune of many. So looking forward to change many others' career as well. So if you share in the social media or something, your friends, so they will get benefited. So you support your friend, they also get benefited, right? So yeah, that's it about automate anything and myself. So I hope you got more information about us, and you are getting useful in this training, getting something from this training. Yeah, you'll get many things in upcoming trainings. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for joining. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Rajni. This was a great session.
Thanks all.